Obrigado. think I saw you on TikTok. Hi, welcome to Quack and Smite League. We're doing a recast of the pawns and the
Cookie.
cookie cutters, right?
hmm
Okay.
This is going to be a fantastic set to watch. I can't wait to get into it. Bonds have been a really solid team so far this season. Cookie Cutters looking to really prove themselves big tonight. I think it's going to be a good one.
I'm excited. I know a few of the players. I've seen Arc 5s and Neptune play specifically. Most of the other players are unknown to me, so I always like watching new people play.
It's
So
always
that will be.
exciting.
And coming out strong with that first ban Atlas, a lot of people don't like dealing with him because of how much damage he's popping out, and his CC is incredibly annoying.
Especially with his early damage, the early pressure that he can provide in the dual lane at level 2, being able to pluck somebody so efficiently is going to be really high pressure. Especially if you can get an ADC like Izanami or Medusa just to rock on the pressure, which can be super important in the dual lane.
And then bands after that, we have Thoth, Ardio, and Amaterasu coming out. Toth being super duper strong by being able to pump out a ton of damage while also sitting a mile away from you. Very hard to lock down, very hard to deal with. Amaterasu, she's just like hyper aggressive, at least from my experience with playing her and stuff. Hyper aggressive, hard to deal with. The mitigation and that aura is strong.
Yeah, just the presence that she can bring to a team fight, especially surrounding an objective, can really turn a team fight in her favor.
And if you
I
put her in the
okay.
if you put her in the sport world too, and you build her with like war flag and shoguns and all that, just standing next to her is basically like having a whole item extra.
Oh, it is incredibly powerful. And speaking of incredibly powerful, the first two picks that we see coming out, Gilgamesh being the first lock-in of this set. Gilgamesh has been a very popular god lately, especially in the jungle, where the way he can just set up kills and pop burst damage off of his dropkick, not only is it great setup for his team, but just the raw damage he has on his own makes him a threat on his just on face value.
Yeah, just that's a god you never want to run into by yourself. You'll turn a corner and he'll just kick you into a wall and then kill you in 2 seconds, and you're just like, well, that just happened.
If you can even figure out what happened with how quickly the health bar disappears.
And then Persephone, first pick on the other side, super strong, annoying god. If you fight her in the jungle or the lane, she just floods it with flowers, and you take a ton of damage. And personally, her ulti is one of the most annoying things to deal with because if you're not communicating with your team and you're not on the same page, it stays up a lot longer than it should.
It is extraordinarily annoying, especially when it can lock you in and it really just forces you to address it no matter where you are. Just that wide range of cripple. It makes it so hard to continue a team fight if you don't take it out really quickly.
Standing no barrier to our
And
success.
then we third band, we missed the Basset band, but Basset was banned. So Iza, Soul, and Ganesha getting locked in. Soul, very strong pressure. With it her separate, she's really hard to lock down, and she just does a ton of burst damage and super snowbally. Like that god in particular, if she gets rolling, it's game over. Iza Capri, one of the strongest duo lanes, probably has the highest clear out of any traditional ADC Guardian combo. And then Ganesha, I think Ganesha is one of the best supports in the game, just because of his 2 getting all that prot, and that silence is so hard to deal with.
Not only do you have that can really make it difficult for somebody to die with the backline, but if you're talking about in a team fight, his ultimate, the Dharmic Pillars, can really set
Oh,
you up. It's massive area denial, and if you can manage to catch somebody on that wall with a little bit of CC, they take a
a
massive
ton
amount
of
of
damage.
damage. It's a support
Uh,
that's 3 levels below you, and he's still hitting you for half your health. It is just absurd, to
yeah.
say the least.
I really like him because my ADCs always complain about how I steal kills, so I can't do that on him. So, uh,
That does sound about right. That does sound right. Why does it sound more like ranked? That's
yeah.
literally every ranked lobby.
So next round's advance. We have the Daji, Agni, Tsukiyomi, Fenrir. All super strong gods. Fenrir, Suki. Fenrir, he'll carry your team through a late game, or not late game, early and mid game. In the late game, he'll make one person's life like so unbearable because he'll just be all over him. Tsukiyomi, for an unmobile god, super hard to lock down.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the pressure that he can continuously push out with those ranged autos that he gets.
Yeah.
It's he's supposed to be a melee, but he's not really a melee. Let's be honest with
No.
ourselves here.
Some Wukong, probably the safest solo laner. You're not gonna really win lane with him, but you're definitely not gonna lose it.
Yeah, dying as Sun Wukong is not something you see every day, so it's just gonna be super safe. Really lets you play around the team and gives them the space and presence to be able to do what they want to do more effectively.
So they opted for the Medusa into the Iza. She's one of the few ADCs that when it becomes a 1v1 lane, she can keep up with clear and box pretty decently with her, with the snake autos.
Are we sure that's a Medusa ADC?
So it could, you're right, it could go anywhere.
I see Soul ADC quite a bit rather than Soul and mid.
Okay. I mean, it's really just where they want that presence. Do they want the Medusa ulti in mid when they're doing the more team fighty? Like, who do they want in more fights, I guess, is the discussion they're going to have. If they want that mage damage from Soul, or they want that ADC and team fight ultimate coming out of the Medusa.
Either way, I still think their objective pressure is going to be extremely potent.
Oh,
Having
yeah.
Soul and Medusa, basically double ADC, that will really shred down an objective. And then to have Gilgamesh and Ganesh as your tanks,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
set really nicely for any team fight.
If I'm Ganesha right now, I'm going War Flag, I'm going Shoguns, I'm going Talisman, I'm going all the attack speed items. Oh, and then they finish it off with the Odin.
Oh no. The team
That
fight
is
potential
a
is just,
very strong pick.
that is extremely potent team fight right there.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not the biggest fan of the Awilix here.
As far as I can tell, the only two people who actually have a jump on the other team are Gilgamesh and Odin.
And the only knockup they
And
have
I
is some
don't,
Wukong Bowl.
yeah, I don't think you want to pull an Odin into your backline.
You
with
don't want to
Crownation.
pull Gilga or Odin into your backline.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Awilix. I'm not
I would
sold on it.
I would have liked to see like a team fighty assassin come out of there, like a Hunbats would have been fantastic. They drop cage, you just drop the totem. Like make them not
Exactly.
want to fight there anymore. Just something to like dissuade them from wanting to fight in the Odin cage
Exactly.
and create space for you.
You have Izanami and Persephone. They can really get pressure on lane in their own. So getting something in the jungle that can set you up even better for a late game would have been a fantastic idea. I mean, hey, maybe we don't know. Maybe the Awilix will work out great. Maybe she'll be 12-0.
That's true.
I-
Helix, Snowbally God, she'll take on anyone.
Yeah, you get her one or two good kills early on, and it becomes a very scary endeavor. So who knows? Maybe we'll see some great things out of it.
I think this game really comes down to if this Awilix can shut down the Soul in the Medusa and kind of keep them in line and let his carries get to the mid late game point before theirs. And then Kepri being really on point with his revives. Like positioning and revives are going to be
Yeah.
crucial for them.
Yeah, having the awareness on the Kepri is going to be pretty important. Sun Wukong is just in general safe and will create a little bit of space for the team to do what they want to. I think it's just really going to come down to how do they position themselves against such a powerful team fight composition.
So just purely based off a team comp, I am definitely favoring the Pawns team comp.
I do like their team fight setup. They absolutely can turn around pretty much any team fight they want to. Even if it's a bad start to the fight, you've got just so much that can pile everything on top of the entire team at the exact same time. If you don't
And
force two actives, you are very likely to get a kill.
yeah, even if it's a bad fight, they're just very like they have a lot of time savers. So you can drop like Ganesha ulti, they're not gonna want to push through that. Soul ulti's gonna buy you time. Odin Cage will buy you time. Gilgamesh ulti will buy you time.
Even if they lose a fight, just dropping one or two of those to escape turns it from a complete team wipe to only losing one person. Then they can come right back. It's definitely gonna be pretty difficult to really get them out, especially since their lane gods are so high pressure. Soul and Medusa certainly aren't bad by any means.
No. And it looks like Soul is actually going to be in the mid lane instead
Interesting.
of over in that ADC lane. Nothing wild coming out on starts on either team. Kind of disappointed in the Ganesha you didn't get War Flag, but
Oh, just playing it safe. Nothing wrong with that.
no. Sentinel's Embrace, like once you get an upgrade or Sentinel's Gift, whatever the initial one's called, whenever you get that upgraded, both the upgrades are super strong, so it's always safe to go.
Very, very true. It can really turn around a team fight. The extra prots that you get is really potent.
Yes.
Especially if it's only with one other person and you just split 40-40 with both people. That is just absurd if you ask me.
Um,
Having a little bit of technical difficulties with our visuals here, so
yeah.
there we
And
go.
we are back. Oh, we have a dash with the Medusa into the duo. They're looking to play aggressively here, which it's good. It's one of my biggest things is being a sport main myself is just showing presence in lane, and that should go for any lane. Like just the demeanor at which you play. So like show a little bit of aggression, show you're not scared to fight, and it usually changes how like your opponents are gonna play.
Just the threat of being there. It's the same thing as a jungler ganking a lane. You don't have to get a kill for things to be successful. It's just being there and looking menacing.
Yeah,
Sometimes that's all you really need.
just show the mindset of like I will fight you. Like this isn't gonna be we're not gonna sit here and just look at each other and slap minions. Like I'm gonna try to make plays. I'm gonna try to make things happen.
This is in fact a PvP game, and I
Yeah.
showed up for PvP.
We have a little bit of a skirmish going on over at the Cubby. Nothing really happening. Oh, there's a gank coming in.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
that was
she
showing up
dashed
for a good fight.
back. It's a 3-on-3 now. Nothing really happening. Oh, what a huge root by the Kepri. Gilgamesh is jumping in. Nothing's really happening.
It was a well-timed gank, and it did force out Izanami's beads, so that should set them up a little bit nicely moving forward. Unfortunately for now, it doesn't look like they'll be able to get much off of it. A bit of wave pressure is always nice, though. Can never deny that.
Yes.
Especially in today's duo meta, with how much farm is on that
Oh,
side.
yeah. I feel like it's hard to even, like, just in the duo to leave, like, that side of the jungle. Like, you'll go to mid for 1 or 2 waves, and then you're just back on that side of the map. Which nothing, a bit of a slow game, duo lanes just clearing, a little bit of skirmishes happening, jungle's looking for opportunities, the solo lane slapbox that we know and love.
Would it really be solo lane if it wasn't just 10 minutes of slapboxing before somebody buys TP?
No, that's the best part about playing solo.
You just sit there smacking each other
Yeah.
for 10 minutes, and that's it. You just teleport over to gold.
Oh, Kepri pulling away the Dusa who dashed in. Dusa is very low, the shell coming out. Looks like they're both gonna get out unscathed.
Medusa getting very aggressive, and I'm seeing a fantastic pushback from the cookie cutters there, really showing them, hey, you can't be too aggressive against us. Kepri and Izanami may not clear wave faster than you every single time, but that doesn't mean we're going to take no for an answer.
No. And it's very much these duo lanes kind of do the similar thing. So like Ganesha and Capri are very single target CC focused with both of their dashes. And so they're just looking to see who they can catch out and what they can bait out.
I do always love having the Ganesh because you can still silence them out of that Kepri pluck, which
Yeah.
that can really put them in a bad spot if they get a little bit aggressive, trying to pick somebody out of the backline.
Oh, Deuce is dashing it. Oh, what a big Ganesha ulti coming out with the knockup. Iza ulti coming through. Kepri might fall here with the Kepri revive going down. That's a good call, just getting him to revive and then picking him up right after. And then Gilgamesh also picking up the kill. So 2 kills going over the way of the pawns. Strong start for them.
Definitely what you want to see from a high pressure team like that. Although that is 2 kills, both on kind of the left side of the map. One was in mid. I wouldn't
Yeah,
be
on that
surprised to see them
perception.
starting to pressure for some invades on camps, maybe even get oracles, set themselves up for a gold fury if they can get another kill.
Which, yeah, they went and took purple. They're taking that side Harpy. Which that's the name of the game right now in this meta is just like look for a pick somewhere and then what can you get after that? Like what can I strip from you to put you even further behind?
Yeah, stealing the farm is incredibly important in this meta. There's no denying that. Especially in the duo, I feel like
Yes.
that is just the biggest meta in duo right now is just taking away farm. So if you lose 2 purple buffs in a row, it feels like
Oh,
that
you're
is
so far
just
behind.
yeah, you're just gone from the game. Gotta love those pressure metas, huh?
It looks like the supports are starting to rotate out. So we'll see the 1v1 and see what they decide to do.
My tongue is not working for me today. Medusa getting some good pressure with the Viper shot onto the Izanami there. Forced her to back up underneath the tower. Getting some pretty favorable trades there.
Jimothy going by. Ooh, Medusa getting the solo kill on the Izanami. Or not Izanami, jeez, I can't talk. Wait, it's Izanami. I'm sorry, I just woke up after a 36-hour shift. My mind's a little messed up.
Still a little bit of sleep, huh?
Yeah, we didn't get much sleep.
It's alright, you got plenty of time to wake up. We will be here for you. Definitely going to be a good pickup for the pawns, though. They're getting some pretty solid early pressure for themselves over in this dual lane. Medusa now going to be a good level ahead of this Izanami. And Medusa being ahead in farm is just a bad time for anybody, especially a
Yeah.
Medusa against an
Um,
Izanami.
which pawns, this is what they needed to be doing. They have a very high aggression team, so they just need to keep pushing, like, keeping the foot on the gas and to get every advantage they can get because Persephone gets online, that's a pain to deal with. Izanami late game's just real hard to deal with. So there's a lot of things that they need to kind of keep in mind as they're playing their game is like, how can we keep these 2 carries behind? Because that's the core of their team.
Yeah, the Persephone damage is just absurd how much she can put out in late game. And Izanami, at pretty much any point in the game, can just be so annoying to deal with. Just
Yeah.
throwing those autos that hit you twice from so far away. Makes for a really bad time to fight into it.
So if you are cookie cutters, where are you looking to like get back into this game or like bring the lead back down?
Right now, they do actually have a little bit of a lead over in solo, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see solo make an early rotation to try and shut down over in the duo lane. That could certainly reapply some good pressure. And here they come with a big rotation towards the mid lane.
Beautiful kick by the Gilgamesh to stop that fight. And Odin jumping in. He's not going to drop cage, and they are just going to disengage. Which, yeah, that's what cookie cutters need to do, is some Wukong and a Wheelix need to kind of communicate of like, okay, where do we need to go to make something happen to help our carries back out?
You gotta find a good target, just pick them out, take what you can, and get more farm. They've lost a little bit of pressure here in this early game so far. It's not impossible for them to come back by any means, but they're going to have to certainly work for it. The pawns are going to be very potent when it comes to pulling objectives, as they're looking
Yeah.
at the Fury here. Well, everybody rotating over for a Gold Fury fight pretty early in.
It looks like everyone's just going to go back to their lanes and farm. Nothing too... Oh, Izanami's going to get caught out here. They did pull the ulti, but they also pulled Ganesha ulti off of that. So that's a little bit of a win.
And that is a death. A death is going to be more valuable than an ult, in my opinion. So
I
that,
mean,
yeah, that makes it a lot easier for them to pull Gold Fury. If they
yeah.
can force the mid laner to back up off of this red invade.
Oh, and they are invaded with the soul ulti.
Kill. Oh, that's a
And
double
Pepper's
kill.
gonna drop 2. Yeah, so they're definitely gonna go and pull gold now.
Yeah, that's going to be a gone Gold Fury.
That has to be one of the most like disappointing moments for any mid laners. You just get invaded at your red and both of you die. It's just like
It's such a terrible feeling. It's like, man, I just want to farm.
yeah. I just wanted my buff, guys. It gives prots, so that's actually a good thing to do when you're low health.
It's a good use of the silence. May not work too well against the Gold Fury, but does at least let you tank a little bit longer. Always a good thing. I just think that's what makes Ganesh such a fantastic support. Just being able to buff not just himself with it, but his team
Yeah.
in so many ways. Giving them credit for kills all the time gives them even more farm. Just siphons it
I
all
mean,
right to
he
your
can't
carries.
he can't last through anything either if an ally's nearby. So you're actually you're always giving optimal farm to the people around you, which is really nice.
Yeah, his 1 giving them a little bit of a power boost, his 2 giving them protections while also silencing whoever's in the area, and being able to get that single target dash off.
Yeah, not even to mention the protection shred on the ultimate either, plus the slow.
His ultimate is just in a different class of its own. Just his normal 3 abilities and his passive make him a fantastic support. The ultimate doesn't even change anything. They're gonna have to hit him really hard if they wanted to actually nerf that god out of the top 3.
So I want to see. Oh, it looks like we about to have a skirmish happening over by the fire giant. They're just gonna disengage, pull their scorpion. I want to see cookie cutters. Capri and a Wheelix need to kind of group up and start trying to get picks because they have a really strong pick comp between the Wheelix and Capri. Just that single target CC they can do.
Just being able to lock somebody down really efficiently.
Yeah.
As we see
Oh
big
my
fight with the pyro.
goodness. That was a huge Ganesha ulti, both of them taking multiple ticks.
Foden being able to jump
Unfortunately,
in, get more damage, and they even were able to steal away the pyro.
Pawns are looking very strong with this early game. Holding the steady lead, not dropping a single kill yet. Taking all the farm off the map they can. They've gotten a Gold Fury, a Pyro, they've stolen multiple buffs, and they just stole the other team's Scorpion. Like, they're feeling good right now. Really confident.
Yeah, they've gotten pressure at pretty much every point in the map that they can get. They've gotten the Gold Fury, they've gotten the Pyromancer, they've even invaded buffs. Pawns are just sitting nice and comfortable in this game. If they just keep playing the way that they have and just don't really change much, they can easily take this game. They just got to keep applying the pressure where they have, keep the ball rolling. Although, I am looking at this. Soul has Gilded Arrow, Ring of Hecate. Those are pretty popular items. We see them all the time. But then a second item, Nimble Rod of Tahuti. Is it just me, or does that feel a little bit early?
She's feeling herself. So,
I normally see a flat pen item somewhere in there first.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when you're just feeling good about a game, you'll do a random item like that. You're like, yeah, I probably shouldn't buy this item here, but I just want it. I'm feeling it, so I'm gonna go
grabbing
for
Heart
it. Yeah.
You grabs Heart
And
Seeker second item.
really, it's not bad because I don't know the exact stats on it, but there's that attack speed one too. So if she wanted to, she could sink that extra gold and get the extra attack speed coming off of it
She
just
already did.
early.
Yeah, that's what she is.
Okay.
It's just that is 3,600 gold for that item in your second slot.
I mean, she does have a 3 level lead too on her laning apart opponent, so like she can definitely get away with it.
She can, but I just with the flat pen meta that it has been for a while now,
Yeah.
I really expected to see a flat pen item there.
If she had flat pen, she would have done a lot more to that
Maybe
Kukri.
that's just me. I don't know. It just feels early to me.
Oh, it definitely is early, but like
I mean, it's still working,
sometimes,
so
yeah.
what can I really say if it's working? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? Overall, though, I think that's the only out of the normal thing that I've seen on builds so far.
Yeah,
Everybody else just y- getting items that you see pretty much all the time. Sun Wukong opting
super
for the
standard
Soul
across
build.
the board. Which I like that early relic dagger coming out of the Ganesha too. Get that shell all the time, whatever his second active's gonna be too. Get that extra cooldown on it.
Yeah, it makes it a lot harder for the team to get any picks on your backline, especially when they're already ahead. That takes the odds from very low already to just minimal. That's just, it really helps you just continue holding the gas pedal down. Especially because it's a lot of health, too.
Yes, and the movement speed.
And the cooldown reduction. Always great things.
Which once he finishes that Pride win, he'll have 30%. Plus a
Yeah,
massive health shield.
and he just picked up the girdle there, so he's gonna be a teamfight machine real soon. Especially as they're looking for this next Gold Fury here. Everybody's showing up.
Which it looks like red team is trying to burn it down as quick as they can. But here come the pawns. Odin Cage coming down. Getting dove in the backline with Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong trying his hardest to fight three of them. Medusa's gonna get a pick. Medusa with the double. Izanami ult dropping down. And it just looks like blue side saw their opportunity and engaged, while red side, they were trying to get back in this game, but I think it was a little too desperate as Gilgamesh picks up another pick in the back line.
That's 3, it's about to be 4 soon. Pop the girdle. Medusa picking up one more kill
And
for
they're
them.
diving the
And
T2.
Kong he's trying to run away underneath T2. And he's just barely getting away. Narrowly surviving that. Cookie Cutters may have gotten the Primal Fury, but losing 4 people in the process, not what you want to see.
Not worth.
They're not doing quite as hot as they could have been this game. Overall, they're losing pressure. They just gotta find farms somewhere. It was great to try and get the objective, but Pawns knew about it, and once they jumped in, it was just all she wrote for that fight.
I just feel like their positioning was a little off too. Like they seemed a little too focused on trying to burn that gold fury as quick as they can. And they grouped up a ton for that Odin just to come in and get a really nice cage. And when you're dealing with ultis like the pawns have, so like Soul, Medusa, they're not exactly AoE. They cover a wide area, but you can still avoid that area. So when you play really bunched up, it makes it really easy for those type of gods to get like way more damage than they should off.
And especially the Dharmic Pillars there, hitting multiple ticks on a couple different people. It's just such a horrible feeling to be on the receiving end of that.
Yeah.
Now they're looking at the Pyromancer over on the fire pit once again. They don't want to let the team fights go. They're still trying to show up to these.
I'm really happy they're not scared to kind of go for these objectives. Um, Sometimes you got to know when to hit the brakes, but like a lot of teams, they won't even look at an objective when they're a bit behind. Um, they'll just look to try to get farm elsewhere and just give up like a pyro or something. And sometimes just by being there, the other team's like, all right, we don't want to do this. Y'all are here, cool. Which blue side is actually going to pull the pyro. Kepri coming around the back with a really good flank. He's going to back up and try to get in better position with his team. Soul ulti coming out. Pyro is going to fall. Here come the big circles coming down to Odin and Gilgamesh. Sun Wukong is up in the air. Persephone ult dropping down, and it looks like Sun Wukong is going to pick up a kill. Kepri popping the shell to get him and his ADC out. And here comes that damage from the Soul, just raining it down. Sun Wukong coming out big for his team with a double kill. Persephone doing that AoE Persephone damage that she does. Odin taking a ton of poke from it. Soul running rampant. And Soul is just going to take over the team fight.
Soul is just a monster now. That damage was just crucial. All that damage resulted in a 2-for-4 trade. Plus, the pawns were still able to secure the pyro on top of that.
The pyro, yep.
Definitely a good feeling if you're a fan of the pawns.
So I definitely feel like cookie cutters know where their target focus needs to be at now.
I think they have figured it out after that fight. Little bit of a damage check, as they say.
Big Persephone coming out, picking up the soul. That is going to be a huge shutdown bonus with the Aegis coming out. Odin Cage getting dropped again, and she is going to fall.
Definitely going to be a fantastic pick for that Persephone. Trading
Yes.
1-for-1 against the soul, that is huge.
That is worth. Even if you die there, that's worth, because she probably got close to 800 gold for that kill.
I would be shocked if she got anything less than 600. That is a massive shutdown.
Well, I feel like that's one thing with the meta too, is like you'll be decently ahead and they'll get one kill on you, and next thing you know, your lead's pretty much gone.
It's like, we have 7,000 gold above them. We can take this fight. We traded 2 for 3. Wait, how are they 3k ahead now?
It makes no sense sometimes, I swear. The math's off. Gilgamesh looking for a pick. He is just gonna, oh my goodness.
Just eating that poor Wheelix alive.
That,
That was just carnage.
that's Gilgamesh with serrated edge. And Berserker shield.
Gotta put some respect on that Crusher. Oh man,
Yeah.
Gilgamesh is scary in the jungle.
His build is just kind of like FU build, like trying to fight me.
It's like, oh, you want to take this 1v1?
Yeah.
You're walking straight towards me instead of walking away. No, didn't catch that. Okay. Shout out to anybody who catches that joke.
I'm sorry.
I
And
really hope
oh,
someone
some
catches.
big ultimates come down. Well, that's a big pickup for the Sun Wukong. He has been playing mightily for his team, doing what they need to, picking up these kills in team fights.
Definitely having a good showing for himself. And he got cut off by the Odin cage there and just pretty much sat and waited for Gilgamesh to jump back out and caught him immediately upon landing.
So, both Capri, looking at the builds, they both went the breastplate that gives them like the stacking prop buff, and then when it pops, I don't know the actual name of it. I would have liked one of them, specifically the Sun Wukong, to pick up the auto attack debuff one.
Yeah, I think in an auto attack team like this, having a Soul and Medusa, that auto attack mitigation would be mighty helpful.
Yes.
I mean, it's always good to have breastplate. It's just such a statted item.
Yeah.
It's attack regardless, but I just think it could have helped a little bit more.
Which you can, it's whenever the ultimate finishes casting, they get like an auto
Yeah.
attack debuff for it. Yeah,
Yeah, they get auto mitigations, kind of like with a shell.
yeah. Which would have been really strong. I mean, I wouldn't have hated to see a hiding Dominion on Sun Wukong either. Let him like disregard some of the autos while he's trying to fight out the Sun Wukong or the Soul Medusa.
Yeah, especially with how strong their autos are going to be hitting anyway. It's just, it may not turn the game, but it can certainly help you in that one fight. Just being able to tank
Yes.
those extra 3 or 4 autos, it's just so much extra time to do what you want to do.
Odin looking for the initiation, hitting the stun on Sun Wukong. He's just gonna bullform away. Which it looks like he beats there too, so that is a huge pickup for blue side in terms of actives.
Baiting in early beats in a team fight, especially when you're talking about fire giant pulls, is crucial.
Which they're doing a great job of zoning. Like their 2 carries just hit it. Wheelix is in the back line in a good position, but they're just gonna drop it and look for her and say, okay, you're here, we're gonna fight now. Odin jumping in, looking for a cage. As the cage comes down, picking up 3 of them inside of it. Big soul ulti coming down, Persephone ult. The pillars are coming down. And a Wheelix is actually going to get a pick. Iza picking up a kill too. This is a really big fight for red side. As Sun Wukong is looking to continue the chase as he gets stunned out. Now, are they going to try to pull the fire giant here? kind of a risky call because the 3 on blue side are still pretty healthy.
It's definitely risky, so I think the cookie cutters are just going to opt to take the pyro, take the safe farm while they can. Not too much risk of that getting stolen away. They are still sitting nice and healthy, and that is going to be a huge shutdown for them. 0 for 2 trade. That is
Yes.
going to feel really, really good to get some
On
money back in their pockets.
2 birdie picks too. Like they killed the Gilgamesh and the Medusa. So like those are picks that they definitely wanted.
Absolutely huge, as they say.
Because at that point Medusa was 6-0.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of gold in your pocket. And especially now that Izanami hit 20 off of that. Needless to say, it's definitely going to make their next team fight go a little bit smoother. The extra farm, getting all those extra items as they're finishing up their 5th items now, it's really going to feel good for them. Although we do see Ganesh opting for a 4th item, Sovereignty.
So with the way the divers are going, those are the people that are getting the hardest time right now, are some Wukong and Oelix. So you go the Sov, kind of drop back by your carries, and that's just more prot that they're gonna have to try to chunk through. And some Wukong doesn't have a lot of pen. A Wheelix does, but it's still gonna take like 1 or 2 autos more with that extra 20 prot being there.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take some extra time. And having the extra HP 5 is also going to be pretty nice. That'll let them sustain fights a little
Yes.
bit longer, especially with their soul split pushing up in duo lane. Trying to look at that Phoenix here. They're trying to extend this fight as long as they can, give her the extra time.
Which it looked like a Wheelix back to go and deal with that, as it's a 4v4 at the fire. Right.
That is going to be a sign to the pawns to go ahead and start engaging. They're looking to get some picks here and trade out a little bit of damage early on.
Ooh. Lots of really good poke coming out of the cookie cutters with the Wheelix and Persephone ults coming down. Odin is just gonna walk away though. And they lost the Phoenix. Oh, that is not good.
Well,
But they are going to pull the fire popping frenzy to try to burn it down. Sun Wukong is doing a great job of peeling these people out, keeping them zoned off as they look to the engage. Blink on Gilgamesh, jump in by Odin. A nice revive coming out. Gilgamesh is going to pick up a kill. Sun Wukong potentially going to get one. Oh, Fire Giant, be more fed. A Wheelix is going to pick up a kill. Soul showing up, picking someone. Who did she get in the back line?
Looks like the Persephone just died.
Okay.
Although unfortunately now she's in a bad spot as she's going to get collapsed on. Wilkes is going to end up taking her out. That doesn't mean that they're out of the fight just yet. Medusa will end up getting a return kill onto the Kepri instead.
Looks like a 2-for-3 trade, but honestly, if she picks up another kill here, it's definitely in favor. She might. I mean, it is in a wheel. Like she should be. Oh no. Oh, what a beautiful feather step to get out of that. She is looking for that kill, and really good footsies played by the Ganesha to keep out of range of those auto attacks.
Man, Ganesh got so low. That would have been such a huge pickup for the Uelix there. She managed to still get one, which I gotta say, that was pretty huge, being able to kill the Medusa there. Unfortunately, she couldn't secure the Ganesh.
I would almost call it 3 for Fort Worth because they're not going to be able to get any big objectives. Yeah, they got your Phoenix. Yeah, you came out behind in the team fight, but with how big of a lead they had on you, that's more worth for you guys just get as many kills as you can.
It's a little bit of extra time to farm up, close the gap and farm, plus the shutdown gold is going to be nice. And they can't get any objectives, so it's going to waste a little bit of the time that the Phoenix is down, so they'll be able to respond to objective pulls just a little bit better. Definitely could have gone worse.
Oh, definitely. They could have lost fire. They could have lost the rest of their towers on map. There's a lot of bad things that could have happened there.
And they managed to avoid almost all of that. All they lost was one bird, which, don't get me wrong, losing the dual lane Phoenix is a terrible thing.
It's so bad.
It's a terrible thing. But you didn't lose fire. You didn't lose any other birds. You're able to keep yourselves in the game and you closed a little bit of the farm gap. So being able to keep up with that, especially with how rough the early game looked in the beginning, They're really keeping up in this game.
Yeah, and they're
Fantastic.
getting they're consistently getting the kills on the people they need to. Like they've been consistently killing Soul and Medusa in these last two fights, and that's really what they need to keep doing is try to focus those two out.
Definitely not a bad thing. While it may not have gone perfect for them so far, they are absolutely keeping in this game and showing that
Yeah,
it's not over till it's over.
they're I'm really impressed with the showing that they're having with because a lot of people it's definitely a developed skill of like learning how to play from behind.
Mhm.
And at least last season, when I would watch these lower division games, it just felt like the team that got a lead early was the team that was going to win. And so I'm really happy to see a team that's actually like playing really well from behind. Oh my God, what a massive route! 4 people getting hit. No one was there to initiate off of it though. As the Gilgamesh just dives into the back line with the Odin, they're looking in. Sun Wukong is in the enemy back line. Gilgamesh is going to pick up a kill. Sun Wukong trying his hardest to keep the other two carries out of the fight. The pillars are going to come out just to zone the rest of the cookie cutters. Sun Wukong is going to fall, but man, he did a lot of damage and a lot of good for his team. And it looks like the cookie cutters are just looking for the full disengage.
They're going to be running away scared now that the pawns are nice and healthy. They're going to be able
Yeah.
to pick up one more kill, turn it into a 0 for 3 as they're looking for the fourth, and they'll secure it with the Gilgamesh. Beautiful pickup for them. Now that solo side T2 tower is going to be going down really quick.
Yes. I mean, that was a beautiful route. If they had anyone just a little bit closer, that fight could have went completely different.
Oh, absolutely. That was a 4-man route. Absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, weren't able to get follow-up, and now the pawns are looking to end. They're going on Titan. There goes the Frenzy
Those
getting popped. They're going to end up
articles. Yeah,
bursting out
Soul
that Persephone.
ulti. Persephone does pick up one. The pillars are coming down just to zone her out, though, and that is going to be the end of game one.
Fantastic showing by both sides. Great effort from the Cookie Cutters keeping themselves in the game as long as they could. That was definitely a good showing, and I'm looking forward to see how they adjust for game two.
I am too. What adjustments do you think should be made?
They're definitely going to have to keep in mind that early pressure that the pawns were playing around. Those early objectives did absolutely hurt. So I think looking at a little bit more of early rotations from jungle, maybe even solo, to try and stop those buff invades could be critical and could really turn around the pace of the game.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. And then I think some god pick differences, like maybe not go for such like a pick comp between your jungle and your support, because they do really well into the pick comp, but they kind of had good team fight gods and they had a few good pick gods. It just really didn't mesh well, which they proved they can hold their own in the team fight. So just go for a team fight comp and just see who fights better.
Absolutely. They can make either one work. Either just center themselves around that pick comp, throw in something like, hey, heck, a Sobek Obelix, Just
Yeah.
just to really capitalize and max out getting that one person killed back off, strip farm, repeat. Or do they just commit to a team fight like we saw? The Pawns had a fantastic team fight comp, and they played it really well. So we'll have to see how are they going to adjust for that in game number 2 of the Pawns versus the Cookie Cutters.
And we are back with our short break. Moving into game two, we saw a really good showing out of both teams in the first match. Now we're going to see if the Pawns can close out the set or the Cookie Cutters could crawl back and force a game three.
Cookie Cutters definitely did a fantastic job at keeping themselves in game number 2 or in game number 1, but going into game number 2, we'll have to see how are they able to adjust. They weren't able to clutch up the victory early on, and they were doing a great job with the team fights later, but it just wasn't quite enough. So we'll see, how do they change their strategy up?
So we see the Soul Band coming out. They definitely do not want to deal with that again. She was a complete menace for them.
Very
Bassett,
understandable.
Bassett, just annoying god. In my opinion, she's probably one of the strongest junglers in the game right now. Ardio, Atlas, two of very annoying guardians to deal with, and that Thanatos ban. That's a god where if he gets one kill in the early game, he's just gonna run away with it.
Yeah, Thanatos is absolutely a problem god if he gets an early lead. If he doesn't, it could be really unfortunate. So I think the pawns may be looking to just really focus and double up on that early pressure because they could absolutely use that to get themselves in the lead.
Now, I don't know who has first pick here, but are they gonna opt for the Gilgamesh again? Or something else? Like, is that where their priority lies if you're the pawns?
Gilgamesh would be a perfectly fine first pick, and I expect them to go for that. Yep, they do go ahead and
There
go
it
for that.
is. Yep.
I was also starting to think maybe they want to switch it up, go
I
for
will
something
leave
like an
standing
Agni.
no barrier
You know,
to
just a
our
high pressure
success.
mage in the mid lane.
Yeah.
May not be a soul, but you can still get some
None
fantastic
will
pressure with
free
those
my
bombs.
grasp.
Which the cookie cutters this time are going to take the Ganesha, which I really
Look
like. The
into my
Persephone going over to them
eyes.
again, and the Medusa. So we have seen all the same
Come,
gods
we
so
shall fly
far. Maybe.
together.
Oh, I love horrors. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Horus and Medusa is probably one of the highest pressure dual lanes that I can think of.
You have to
There's
respect the horrors.
You have to put some respect on that. His base damage at level 2 is just absurd. I can't tell you how many times you can think that you've got a fantastic dual lane going in early, especially
Oh,
with
and
somebody like
he'll.
Soul or Izanami. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, we got this pressure, and then you see a Horus just rock your world.
Not to mention, he is just very, very good at keeping carries alive. So that heal plus prot, then like a knock up and a stun plus a cleave. So like when you have a tanky or diver, they go in, they just got cleaved for half their prot, and now they're just getting tore up by the people that they were trying to kill.
He's essentially just, you're trying to kill the backline, but he says, here, take this stun, plus knockup, plus heal, plus
win
L,
peace
plus
by
ratio.
force.
There's just nothing you can do about it.
I like the Hachi here actually. Give yourself a bit more range on that carry. Have him sit further bit back, safe, but not. He's one of those gods that can play safe, but if you like don't pay attention to him for a second, he's right up in your
Even
face with that
gods must
dash.
heed the scales of fate.
Just his safety is just so crucial. It really is going to help him out. Because Medusa Horus, the odds that you outpressure that early,
Oh, you're
not very
not.
high. So going with something a little bit safer and can just farm really well from a distance, I think that's perfectly good.
I like the Nemesis team fight here. From the way Wheelix was playing, I feel like Nem will fit the play style better of that like person. Just kind of dive in, be able to do a lot, have a little bit more safety, and have
This
more
is
of a
way
multi-target
out.
focus.
Yeah, just having that presence and being really active in team fights is going to be incredibly helpful. We also see a Kabrakan coming out here.
I don't like the Kabrakan and the Nemesis.
It's definitely got some high damage output and can really force Persephone and Hachi to think about what they're doing,
Yes.
but it's not going to be the pull off into a comp against Nemesis.
What is the last pick for the pawns going to be? They need a strong mid laner. I want to see Anubis.
They need a strong mid laner. Let's see Anubis. Of
Okay.
all things you could have chosen. Hold on, of all things you could have said.
So here's my mindset on the Anubis.
I'm a
Okay, they're gonna pick up the
monster!
Scylla. Scylla is a strong mid laner. She has that very high late game damage, and the later the game goes, the better she just scales because of her passive. But my argument for the Anubis is you have a team that just likes to stay in one spot and fight, just like fight us. So why not pick Anubis? Just come get us. We
My
have
thinking
Kabrak and
is
Gilgamesh
you're
Horse.
going up against Ganesh, Nemesis, and Persephone. Those are gods that really punish somebody who's not very mobile. if you can
I
get a little
mean,
bit of CC and get them to stand still,
oh, I
you'll just
100%
obliterate.
agree with you. I just think it would have been a fun pick.
Fun for sure. I just don't know
Build
how
walls so
effective
that
it will
we may
be.
live in
I like the
peace.
Amaterasu here a lot. Oh, this is a tough one. I don't know which comp I actually like better. They both play really well against each other.
I do love the Ama pickup though. I mean, I've just been a fan of Ama for quite some time. So just the fact that she's
I've
really good now, I'm just excited to see her played at any opportunity.
I have recently like started picking her up again, like in the support role, and I've been having a blast with it just because she does so much. Especially once you like if you build her right, once you get into those later stages of the game, it's like having an extra item when she's standing next to you. Because you get 30 power off her in one late game, like 20% move speed. Like it's just really it's a lot to deal with.
It's just absurd how much value she can give her team. Not to mention just the massive AoE stun of her ultimate.
Yes.
It really is a dazzling offensive. It really is just massive setup for your team.
Okay.
I want
I
to
do.
I want to see how are the pawns going to be looking to go for this early pressure. Their duo
I,
lane, incredibly high duo pressure. Their
yes.
mid, with it being Scylla and then Gog as the jungler, they can certainly get some early pressure. But against somebody like a Persephone, how well are they going to be able to really take care of her early game?
I think the biggest issue the pawns are going to have is just the zone control that the cookie cutters are going to be able to bring out.
Yep.
Between Persephone, Ganesha, and Alma, they can just control like sections of the map with their abilities. Because they're going to throw something down, and you're going to be like, all right, I don't want to go that way.
Yeah, having somebody like Ganesh alone can really force people to think twice about where they're standing. Having an Ama on that as
The
well,
Frenzy coming out, Ganesha getting poked. Who's going to hit the level 2? Oh, Ganesha going aggressive as the pawns stay on him, and Medusa will pick up the first blood on the Ganesha. And the dash coming out with the beads, that's his dash. Will they be able to pick up both? And they will. Kabrakan also getting a kill over in the solo lane on the Ama. Really strong start for the Prawns. So that's how they're going to get their early game lead.
both of the side lanes picking up their first kills that early, that's going to be a very good feeling for them.
So that's what we're talking about is you have to respect that Horus Medusa. They're just going to
Yeah.
do a lot of damage early.
I don't care who you are, if you don't respect the Horus as a support in the early game, you're just going to get crunched. And that is exactly what just happened. I don't think they gave quite enough respect to it, and that's a double kill.
Horus just poking out. They're just going to be clearing waves. They're going to push up aggressively to try to push them back. Oh, went
Looking
for
for
it. Didn't quite catch it, but I like the attempt.
It was definitely a valiant attempt. That could have turned into a lot of damage if he caught the dash. Though we do see
Looks
a
like
little
we
extra
have. Are you
player on
frozen
the
as
field.
well?
I am not frozen. I see 3 people currently in the dual lane. Nemesis making her star appearance in the dual lane, trying to reapply some of that pressure.
Okay. I DC'd for a second there. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Don't drop your internet on me.
I think I'm good now. All right.
Are you still with us?
Yep. The stream froze and I couldn't hear anyone, so I was a little worried for a second.
Oh. Well, I'm glad you can hear us now.
As Horus fighting 1v2 at their purple buff, I like the confidence.
Gotta put some respect on his name, man.
Yeah, and like sometimes that's what you just do as a support is be annoying. Like I think that is the support's #1 job is like be as annoying as possible to the enemy team.
At this point, if my ADC can't take all of the farm on the map, you can't have it either. Is really what he's
Exactly.
saying. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And just showing up there and showing like, okay, I'll fight you. Right, the cookie cutters might be thinking like, oh, is the jungle over here? Is Medusa right behind him? Like, let's just leave.
Yeah, especially with the amount of pressure that he's applied already in this dual lane, he's really going to be forcing them to think twice about picking a fight with him. Though I think we're also starting to see a little bit over in the solo lane as well. Cabrakan definitely feeling nice after getting the first kill onto the Ama.
Yeah, and that's just Kraken's just like oppressive in lane. He's just gonna walk up and three it, and you can't really walk in on him or get to the creep wave too well.
Just trembling the entire area
Yeah.
as we do see Gil coming in onto the dual lane, looking for a back. Not gonna get anything though. I respect the attempt. Unfortunately, I'm just not gonna be able to get too much out of it on this time. Buffs aren't up. We do see Nemesis trying to get a little bit of an invade on the back games, but Cabrakan, that's my XP.
Yeah. Big fight going down. Oh, Persephone gonna pick up a kill. She is gonna fall to the Gilgamesh. Will Nemesis be able to pick up the return kill and make it a 2-for-1? And it looks like it's just gonna be a 1-for-1 trade out of the mid laners. The blink coming out of the Gilgamesh though.
Couple with autos, not quite able to pick up the kill. Nemesis has no mana, so she can't really fight too well against the Gilg, but he's not gonna be.
Oh,
Oh,
Ama
Ama's
here
here.
with the ulti.
Oh,
She's
no.
gonna get the stun. Will she be able to pick up the kill? She will. So it will be a 2-for-1 trade out in the mid lane.
Great rotation coming from the cookie cutter solo, making it just in the nick of time to show Gilgamesh, nah, not in my house. Can't
That's
can't
just
be getting that aggressive.
that's just one of those awkward fights too, where like you blink and you didn't go to like the spot you wanted to be, so you're just like, we're just gonna
It just
stare at each other now.
just kind of misses a couple autos, and at that point it's just okay. Just leave. Just sitting there getting poked out by the minions too. That's just insult to injury. If you miss a blink and the minions are just sitting there hitting you.
Which cookie cutters are doing what they need to kind of bring that early lead that they lost back. Looking for picks in other lanes. Alma doing those early rotations, gonna get her back in the game. Horus looking for that deep ulti. He is not gonna quite get it.
Mounted archery being used to get him out of there. Nem is here now with Divine Judgment. That's going to be a lot of damage onto Horus. He is going to be able to dash away to the
Oh no!
Medusa, but here come the Dharmic Pillars. They're
Oh
looking for
no!
this Horus. He just has no escape. Beautiful pickup for the Nemesis. That's going to be a
No.
great pickup.
It was so unfortunate for that Horus because if he hit that, they turned that around.
Oh, 100%. I do like seeing Gilgamesh jump in to try and catch the Amma over in the solo lane. Kabrakan wasn't quite close enough to capitalize, so Amma will be escaping back underneath her tower. But they do have a little bit of time to just go ahead and take a little bit of farm.
When Blue Side is nearing the end of their totem stacks, I wonder if there's going to be a high prio on that this game.
I would think there would. Obelisk is just such a big boost to your team. The amount of gold that it gives is way too high.
The gold, and then even if you put the so like if Horus gets it, that just ups his damage significantly in this early and mid game.
Hmm.
Like it is a lot to deal with, especially in these 3v3 skirmishes or the 4v4s that happen.
And, I mean, in reality... Wait, is
Or
Persephone over in left lane?
picking up the kill on the Medusa.
Yeah, just made a rotation and snuck it right underneath everybody's noses. I was sitting here thinking about Obelisk, and she's just already over there. That's exactly what you were just talking about, getting picks in other lanes. Cookie Cutters are playing this beautifully.
Yeah, they need to keep doing that because they lost the level 1 fights. And so now they need to start using numbers advantage and just go to these side lanes and be like, okay, we'll get this pick to try to bring these people who got those early kills down so that they don't just run rampant with the game like they did last time.
Exactly. They are doing a fantastic job at shutting down that pressure and really putting it back into their own hands. It's actually really even across the board, though.
Yes, it is. No team really getting a massive advantage yet. Kabrakin and Alma just slapboxing it out.
As solo laners naturally do, Kabrakan just clearing the entire wave while Amma sits there wailing on him. You know, pretty standard Kabrakan things.
Yeah. I like this Medusa continuing to be aggressive as the Hachiman ulti comes out with the dash. Medusa ult down. Here come the pillars. Nemesis ulti also being dropped. Scylla ult coming through, finds one, gets the reset. Will she be able to get more big damage off as Gilgamesh comes through and picks up a kill? Oh, big crush damage. Ganesha barely getting out of that. He is going to fall, and then there's that Persephone damage, bringing Gilgamesh to 1 HP, not quite able to pick anyone up, and that is the end of the fight.
Persephone is already starting to do Persephone things. Those plans are just incredibly powerful.
God.
She doesn't even have her second item online, and she's already doing that to everybody. So you thought Scylla had some incredible burst damage? Have you ever seen what happens if you just activate 4 Persephone plants at the same time?
I've been
God.
late game with 325 magic prop before, sitting there, and then she pops plants, and like 3/4 of my HP bar is gone. It's just like,
It's just absurd. I mean, she didn't even have to use any abilities in that fight, and she took Gilgamesh down by half his HP.
yeah.
It's
Which Gilgamesh
it's
might get caught out here. They are looking for him. It looks like nothing's going to happen over there. His horse is also looking for a rotation.
doesn't look like there's gonna be any picks going on. They're not looking to fight quite yet. They're just looking to go ahead and take some more farm. Never a bad thing. We do see cookie cutters looking over by gold. Maybe they're trying to go ahead and secure some wards, get those oracles, make sure that no funny business is going to go on when they're not looking. I think that's a really underrated thing for junglers to be doing, especially in the most recent patches. Getting those oracles, especially in the early game.
Yes.
I mean, even in ADC, if you clear a wave really early, if you and support can go ahead and just rotate over there in the early game, I think it's a fantastic use of your time. Getting those
Well,
oracles is just so good.
yeah, they're really good because even if you're not in a position to get gold, it dissuades the other team from getting gold.
It's literally a free ward on an objective.
Yeah. That
Not
you
only
can't
that, but
destroy, can't get rid of.
it's also literally just farm. It's farm and it's information that you can't get rid of. If that's not something that would make anybody excited.
Oh, the Nemesis ult coming down with the Amma ult on this cab. Will he fall here? It's looking very big stun coming out as they both get through his ultimate. Scylla here, big crush, gonna miss the ultimate. Pillars coming down. Ganesha putting out all the peel for this Amaterasu, and she's just gonna zoom away.
She's got the movement speed, she's got the healing. That Scylla ult didn't secure the kill. Pretty much nothing is going to be enough to get her out now. She will end up living in that fight. Maybe the pawns look to reapply pressure. They're going to go ahead and take their Scorpion here. I might have for the Pyro, though.
Yeah, they could do that. I think they need to start putting more pressure on the duo side of the map. Because they've kind of proven that duo is their strong side.
Get that early T2 and split push pressure for Phoenix.
Yeah.
That would be a fantastic use. Because that'll make it really hard for them to contest a Pyro.
And a lot of the time when you know what your strong side of the map is, so like Medusa being 2-2, she still has a lead on this Hachiman, is winning that farm battle pretty handedly. Go and put the pressure there. Get her even more ahead. Yeah, you want to help out your losing lanes, but you know Cab's not going to go necessarily super far behind because he's Kabrakin and Alma's not going to be able to solo kill him.
Especially
So
because
just
he's
put
half
it,
level ahead, too.
yeah, put your time and effort where you know like you're going to get the most out of it.
In this case,
And I will.
when everybody has big sticks, you just got to pick the biggest stick and whack them with it.
Yep. Ult's being traded by the junglers. Gilgamesh might fall here as the Ama ult comes through. Kabrakan also there trying to do damage. Beads barely missing his ultimate on the Nemesis, trying to catch her out. And they are going to get a 1-for-0 and walk away. So that's one thing I've noticed is cookie cutters this game are playing very proactively. They're starting just about every engagement, whereas the pawns are playing reactively. So they need to start making their own plays instead of just reacting to everything the cookie cutters are doing.
Yeah, the cookie cutters are making some really early rotations, especially from solo, where Alma's just walking towards the mid lane and just going for these early picks, and she's gotten a couple of them so far, really setting up her team nicely. And
Oh,
now they're coming in
Medusa,
for a gank duo.
which Horus
370 from
is there.
downtown.
Horus is going to fall here, but he did save his Medusa. See, that's another example. They had a 5-man rotation to duo in the pawns instead of looking for like maybe a pyro or something over on the right side. They rotated over super late. Yeah, they saved the Medusa, but they still lost 1 for it.
Now they're gonna end up looking at Gold Fury cookie cutters, just continuing to put pedal to the metal. They're not letting off the pressure anytime soon.
No, they're not. Nemesis putting that pressure down as the Gold Fury will fall and the cookie cutters continue to press their lead.
They are definitely setting a lot better in this game than they were last time. Props to the cookie cutters. Game 1 may not have gone perfectly, but they are really taking the reins back in game number 2.
Yeah, they made those adjustments. They decided, okay, we're gonna start like earlier rotations. We control the fights. We make everything happen. And they've really succeeded in doing that. Even like not even getting discouraged when they lost 3 kills on first creep wave. Like that takes a lot.
Yeah, it took some guts. They lost a lot of early pressure in the side lanes. Like a lot of their farm got stripped away early on. And they're coming back from it beautifully. Ama's now half level above the Kabrakan. And Hachi is still really close to the Medusa.
Which it looks like there's some pressure being put down on the pyro. Everyone kind of posturing towards the right side of the map as they're starting to rotate back towards mid.
Looking for a little bit of a fight over the Pyromancer here. But everybody just wants to get some farm. They don't want to get too aggressive here.
No.
Especially since you do still have towers up everywhere across the map. Never a bad idea to just look to take those out.
One thing I really want to see the pawn start to do is start like forcing fights under their own terms instead
Yeah,
of
make the early rotation.
yeah. And it almost seems like they're going for, oh, here we go. Ama might be getting picked out, but there are 3 other members of the cookie cutters there, and they decided that fight wasn't looking too good for him.
Bracken was there trying to get some CC out, but Ama is so hard to lock down. If that's
Yeah,
not
she
a
is.
mobile solo laner, I don't know what is. Just
She is
20%
able to.
movement speed dashing out of literally any
Oh,
problem.
no, she can go anywhere.
Looking like
Especially if
math.
she builds that runic, no, not runic, relic shield or whatever it's called on the green tree. That gives her movement speed whenever she changes stances.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, just heals up by using an ability. Pawn's stealing
Yeah,
away that Pyromancer.
really good
That's
job
a
by that
great.
Horus. Oh, but there's a little bit of miscommunication. It looked like Gilgamesh wanted to fight there, and Horus said, "We got the objective. Let's go."
Definitely going to be a great pick for them to go ahead and steal the objective and then just back off and farm a little bit more. Continuing the aggression in the mid lane, Scylla popping out of a
Very
monster.
guilty. Horus, are they going to go with him? It looks like 2 people are getting in the taxi ride. Uber coming down. 5 stars, please. Oh, Ganesha was there with the pillars. Now they are in a very bad position as Horus loses all his HP. Scylla's going to fall as well. Gilgamesh trying his hardest to fight his way out of here. He will fall as well. Unfortunate.
That's just a terrible feeling. Hachiman popping the mounted cavalry, charging in against his Medusa. She's going to try and pop Petrify, but it won't be enough. Persephone will end up securing that kill. Bracken forced to pop beads, but it is just not enough to escape this torrent of damage. Blink and ult will be enough to get him out, though.
Which
Narrowly escaping with his life.
they are still gonna lose the fire giant. Oh, that is so unfortunate.
Oh, I love the aggression and just Horus ulting, but underneath the T2, almost to the Phoenix there, that
Yeah,
was a little bit on the aggressive side.
especially because you would have had vision of everyone like collapsing on that point.
Yeah, Ganesh just sitting there with the pillars, waiting with open arms.
Horus going in, seeing if he could get another steal, which he does not. Good try, but he is unfortunately going to fall here as the Amateur. Oh, he's gonna fly away. Never mind. I stand corrected.
Horus is just, it's just so hard to lock him down. Unless you have
Yeah.
multiple cripples, just being able to dash over all that distance through walls to reach his teammates.
Which it almost seems like this is a repeat of game one, just opposite.
Yeah, that's what it's feeling like. It started out great for the Pawns. They had incredible early pressure in both the side lanes, and now Cookie Cutters are the ones that took the first fire giant of the game. We're gonna have to see, will they be able to use it though? Having that Scylla and Medusa, the Pawns definitely don't have a bad siege defense by any means.
No,
And
and
throwing
that's really what they need to look for is those defenses on the towers, which they're a little pushed up. Gilgamesh might get caught out here, but he's just gonna jump away. Like you
yeah,
give up your T1s, almost give up your T2s, feel the fight out when they get there, but like take those Phoenix fights. They have a
yeah,
good shot at those.
yeah, they got some great defense that they can pull off. They just get a little bit of poke off these T2 towers, don't commit too hard, but
As
instead they're
pillars
gonna go right in.
down, Gilgamesh gonna jump over the wall. Persephone ult dropping as well. Not quite committing as Hachiman takes ults in. Yeah, so that was just an ult exchange right there. Just kind of feeling each other out. I'd say a good defense on the side of the pawns. Cookie Cutters really weren't able to get much, but they are just going to sustain up from FG and be healthier than the pawn side.
There's also the fact that Persephone plants just half healthing
Yeah, I
the
know.
Pawn's
It's
backline.
so
That
annoying.
oh my god.
Who at Hi-Res thought that that was a good idea?
I want a name. Who put that in? You can't do anything about it. At
No,
least with
that's
the old
what.
ones you could dodge, but
Yeah.
this is just absurd.
I don't think it'd be that bad if they did like one tick of burst damage, but the fact they tick you continuously as they go through you.
Yeah, you can hit 2 or 3 takes off of one.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be reduced damage, but am I the
I
only
don't,
one that thinks
I
it
don't
doesn't
believe
feel
them.
like that? It does not feel like that at all.
Hi-Res says a lot, and half the time I don't believe it.
It's just I don't believe it. There's no way.
Yeah.
Reduced damage my foot.
So it looks like the cookie cutters are just going to strip T2s off the map, get that farm, prep themselves for Phoenix Sieges or another team fight. As they back off, clearing creep waves, Medusa just clearing away over in the duo side.
Trying to keep those minions pushed up so they can't push down the left side Phoenix. Never a bad thing. Gonna have to be careful though, as you do see Ama's the only one over there just kind of making sure Medusa doesn't get any funny ideas, but really just kind of wiggling around, not doing much.
Gilgamesh is going to jump in, starting this fight off. He's going to get silenced off by the Ganesha. And it looks like just another stalemate in front of one of these T2s. Neither team really wanting to commit fully to a fight yet.
Cookie Cutters do have Fire Giant around their belt, so taking a 4v4 wouldn't be the worst thing, especially against a T2 tower, but it really hurts not having the Ama there.
Yeah.
Especially with TP up. Now she starts teleporting over. Cookie Cutters are going to get Pyromancer, never a bad thing to get objectives. But you have Fire Giant. You want to get the Phoenix.
Yeah, you want to, at the very least, strip all the T2s off the map.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to get it this time. They're just going to go ahead and reset, get ready for the next Fire Giant.
I mean, that's not a bad call either. You got a lot of lead because you got a big team fight on that fire giant. Lead to that fire giant. Then you got a T1, a T2. Like you got some objectives down. You got gold. So let's just back by and then go prep again for that FG fight.
Yep, just securing whatever farm they can, just making sure that the next team fight is going to go their way. And this is going to be a really important fire giant too. If the cookie cutters can manage to secure this one, that can really swing it in their favor.
Catechist shield coming out of the Amaterasu. That is a very interesting pickup.
I mean, she does have healing, but
Like, if they had the Horus on their team, I see it. Like, I could see her getting that slot, but
it's like Curse does heal a little bit from her plants, but I don't know if it's enough to be worth the CAD shield.
I would rather see like the Pridwin. Get yourself a ton of
Pridwin
cooldown,
would
get
be
that
good.
shield.
Hide would have been fantastic against
Hide would have
the
been good.
Gilg.
Mantle of Discord wouldn't even been bad in that slot either.
Plus, the Mantle is CDR too. That would be really helpful on the Atma.
Yep.
Plus, the
Which
extra
here we
CC of
go.
the stun.
The footsies of the Fire Giant have begun. Which team is going to commit first?
Pawn's doing a lot of wiggling out in the solo lane, just trying to clear waves up. Cookie Cutter staying right next to each other. They are prepared to really just encircle whoever tries to go in first. They're trying to set a trap here. Pawns are looking to go ahead and back up. Scylla taking the first back of this fight. Pawn's going to have to be careful now. If the Cookie Cutters realize somebody's missing, that could be a really big engage for them.
Yeah, Ganesha is looking up to see who he can see, maybe get some CC off. Oh, but she gets the dash. None of his team is in position. As they're looking now, pawns are just on the back foot saying, yeah, we got to wait for Scylla to get back.
Yep, you saw a couple people walking over towards the mid lane. There goes Gilgamesh. They're looking to collapse on the Gilgamesh now. He's going to be taking a lot of
Pillar's
damage here.
coming out. Nemesis ult going down on the Gilga. Persephone ult dropping. Amaterasu ult dropping. Gilgamesh is going to fall horse. Going to try to dash out. He gets himself and Medusa out of that fight. Medusa picking up a kill before being teleported. 1 for 1 so far.
So far, it's only been the jungle on the pawn side and the support on the Cookie Cutter side that have fallen. Cookie Cutter is really not losing too much out of that fight. And they've still got the extra pressure having Persephone just throw plants from a mile away.
Yeah. And that's just something you always have to deal with. Oh, Medusa going aggressive. Oh my lord. So she is gonna pull.
Dog.
She is gonna pull the
That
Aegis.
was half her HP.
Persephone is not okay.
Who said that's okay? You're not allowed to do
She
that
is
to people.
7-1. She has a ton of items online.
You are not allowed to do that to people. What was that? Oh my. That is not okay. Medusa was at half HP. That is just absolutely absurd. When you're thinking about burst damage gods, Scylla may be fantastic, but after that, you gotta respect the Persephone burst damage. You just have to respect it.
So the thing about Persephone versus Scylla's really, really good at burst. So like she will jack up 1 or 2 people depending on how many people she can catch with the root. Persephone has the potential to do this weird like sustain damage that's also burst damage. So you're constantly getting hit by that burst.
Let me just burst the front line with my abilities and then poke the back line for half their health with the plants. Sounds perfectly balanced to me.
And so Persephone having a great game right now, being 7-1.
Really rocking the player damage too.
Yeah.
Medusa over there in the Gold Fury.
I like this. I actually like this because no team's really committing. She's just going to be like, okay, I'll go over. We're behind. I'll go get us some gold.
Plus,
Um,
Mama's in the solo lane once again too,
yeah.
or
And it's a
solo top lane.
Primal Fury, so that gives them more damage on the FG. So if a team commits, like they're doing right now, they have a better chance to steal because they'll just passively do more damage. Which it looks like they are full committing down. The Scylla a little late on her secure. She's going to get picked up by the Nemesis. Nemesis getting the double kill, Entangling Sprint, and Persephone ults coming out. As they are now just trying to run away as Cav will fall. Medusa picking up a kill, being the savior her team needs as she's going to get zoned out by the Amaterasu ult. Horus flying back. This fight is still going. They are just trying to fight. Horus still going in. A little bit of miscommunication between him and his Medusa as Medusa is now coming back up.
They
So
did
one.
force them to back off, and they were able to get one return kill, but that's still 3 for 1, and the Cookie Cutters have Fire Giant. They came out big time in that team fight.
Yeah. And if I'm Cookie Cutters, I'm resetting, waiting for my Nemesis to come back up, finish out our builds, upgrade whatever.
Spend all the money you just got, get your starter items upgraded, get everybody nice and comfortable, and push down, because off of that, you got a massive advantage now. You got Fire Giant once again. You can just finish this out. Take the remaining towers, burn the birds, and just be on your merry way.
And if I'm on the pawn side, I'm playing around this Medusa. She's going to be the turnaround factor we need in terms of on these Phoenix fights. So if I'm Horus, I'm barely leaving her side. But also on the flip side, if I'm Cookie Cutters, she's my focus. Like I'm trying to single her out as much as I can.
If you can take her out of the fight early, that Petrify has just been such a massive problem. Literally this entire game, it's been a problem.
Yeah, not only that, she's been on fights that should be like clean wins for the Cookie Cutters. She's been picking up 1 or 2 kills, return kills, to make it like not as bad of a trade for
Almost,
side of pawns.
almost even half the time. Her damage output is just way too high. She's already top damage. She's breaking 21k. She is absolutely a monster to be dealt with.
So, yep, here comes the normal. We got FG. Let's go clear all towers and then see what fight we can force under a Phoenix.
It's interesting that they went from duo side to solo side with that. I would have expected they
Yeah.
go from solo to duo when they took the towers, then siege down the duo side Phoenix.
I think they really just wanted to take down the towers because there's still a T2 on the map. Because this could very well be, if Cookie Cutters win a team fight pretty handedly, this could very well be the end of the game.
Oh, it absolutely could have. I just normally see people prioritize the left Phoenix to make it difficult to try and contest Fire Giant in the future.
Yeah. So usually you do want to prioritize that one. But the reason I think they did is there's just that one T2 still up, so they're like, let's just take that out. It'll make Titan weaker. And oh
They
my
took
goodness,
they
that
took the
Persephone damage.
She's behind the Phoenix. Stop. You're at T2. How are you doing damage to her? What is this?
And so now the siege begins as Hachiman's just throwing out his long distance arrows, trying to get a little bit of poke out. Persephone already doing the poke as we have a little bit of a fisticuff match in the middle lane. As beads come out of the Kraken, pillars are also down. Persephone ult being dropped as well. Here comes the Tremble. Scylla gonna pick up a kill on the Ganesha, forcing them out. Cat blinking in, picking up another kill. That is 3 down on the side of Cookie Cutters. 4 down. That is a massive turnaround for the pawns, and now they're gonna look to press. Get whatever they can off of this.
Yep. There aren't going to be any towers on the map anywhere after this. They might even just strip a bird or two. That'd be a fantastic use of their time. They've gotten everybody who had Fire Giant down, so they don't have to worry about that for a little bit longer.
Unless
Now,
they specifically get 1 T2 and then get the Phoenix, I don't think they can. I think Persephone will do a good job of zoning them out. Because, like,
it's
she
very
needs to start. She needs to start
drop
laying
some
as many of the seedlings right there,
yeah,
and when they
drop
go
some
for that T2, just keep sending them out.
poke out the if you can just poke out the Medusa, you'll be fine. You can draw more in enough time for your team. Especially since Ganesh is already spawning up. The rest of the team will be there in just a couple seconds.
Yeah. Which it actually looks like they're gonna back off and look
They're getting ready for
for whatever
fire.
they can in the jungle. Gilgamesh gonna pick up another T2.
They're looking to start that fire as soon as it spawns.
Kabrakan fighting two of them as the pawns have started the EFG. That's EFG, right? I'm pretty sure. Popping the frenzy to burst as quick as they can while their two frontliners are up there just fighting, trying to keep the enemy team off of it. Nemesis will pick up a kill. Scylla ulti coming out a little bit too early. Cookie Cutters will steal with the Armor ult and Dash being down on that Scylla. Medusa going to pick up a kill as she is fighting a 2v1. Oh, now she is surrounded. She is just going to turn and burn as best as she can. Scylla throwing out damage. Medusa with the spit. They are just looking to get as many picks as they can. Unfortunate.
Medusa putting up such a brave fight, but it just won't be enough damage to keep them out. That's EFG. They're just gonna run you down. Just couldn't escape from all that damage. And now they've gotten all the picks that they needed. They only lost one person in that process. Unfortunately, it's the Hachi, so your Phoenix Shed isn't gonna be too fast, but you do at least have a Nemesis to make use of it.
The pillars coming down. Kabrakan doing his best to keep them off of the Phoenix, as the Phoenix is about half HP right now. Shell being popped. This is just
Phoenix keeps going, but you don't have an ADC here.
no.
They still
This
managed
is
to get it, but they're really low.
oh, what a big Amaterasu ult to stop that advance. As Nemesis is now here. They don't want to mess with her quite yet.
That was a
That's one of
beautiful
those.
stun from Mama.
That's one of those awkward kind of Phoenix sieges where you're like, do we commit? Do we not commit? What are we doing here?
I mean, they got it, so props for that. That's always going to be a great pickup no matter what, because it's still going to be some extra gold for your team, and it is going to play a little bit of pressure. And since they're already all level 20, having those fire minions push up so far
Oh
isn't going to be a
man,
problem.
that Oni Fury is jacking that Hachiman up.
Poor guy taking some serious numbers from it.
Oh,
It is an Oni Fury though, so that's going to be some big pressure.
yeah. Hey, I'm just saying, you know what turned this game around for the Pawns? Anubis.
Don't get me wrong. I love Anubis more than anybody else out there. But
I'm
man,
kidding. I'm kidding.
Anubis is not a comp god. As much as I wish he was.
Don't let I think it was the Korean or the Chinese. Anubis was like first pick, first ban for them in their pro scenes.
Or oh crap, what's his name? What is it? Benny Q. Just plays
Yeah.
literally whatever he wants. Then again, Benny Q is probably a better mid laner than me, so I'll leave it to him to do that. I think it's safe to say he can pull it off just a little bit better than we can.
Oh, definitely better than me. I'm trash at mages.
I've played my fair share of Anubis, but I'm gonna leave it to him. I'll let him handle that one.
Like my mage god pool consists of Agni and Poseidon.
Support mains, huh?
I mean,
Alright,
I have a pocket Afro pig.
we'll
Don't
see how
at
it
me.
turns. We'll see. We'll see.
Alright, so
But
as they're sieging this duo side Phoenix, they're gonna come in. Pawns are playing really far back. The pillars are just gonna keep them locked there as they are looking just to fight inside the Titan room. This very well could be the end of the game. The Persephone ulti coming out. Oh my goodness. As Hachiman will pick up the first kill on the Kabrakan. Amaterasu also picking up a kill on the Medusa. As they are now focusing down the Titan, and that Titan is dropping quickly. And that will be the end of game 2.
beautiful resurgence coming from the Cookie Cutters. They lost game 1. They had some pretty bad early pressure. The early game went pretty rough for them in game number 2, and they still come out on top. Cookie Cutter's really shown what it means to be those F7 warriors.
Yep, and they definitely made the adjustments from game one to game two that they needed to make. They drafted a little bit more of a team fighting comp, so they had a bit more that they could work around and like synergize off of. And then they started playing really proactively, like early rotations, getting the picks where they needed them, and they kind of caught the pawns on the back foot. Like had them playing really reactive. They weren't doing their rotations that they were doing in the first game, so it was really nice to see them take what they saw from game one and implement it in game two, and it worked out for them. They're forced to game three.
We'll see, will the Pawns be able to bring it back in game number 3 after we take just one short break before we see the finale of this incredible set?
Does that mean we're talking right now? Oh, hi, we're back, everybody. uh, and we're rolling on to the next one. We have an intermission screen. It's real pretty. There's a lot of squiggly lines. That's awkward. Alright, so moving on to game 3. The games are 1-1. Cookie Cutters winning game 2 after making some big adjustments. What would you like the Pawns to do? Came back from a pretty handed, like handfully taken game 1. Then game 2, Cookie Cutters came back and took it back from you. What are you looking to do in this game 3?
I think one thing that they could do is, in the previous game, they really saw a lot of early pressure, and then going into the mid game, the Cookie Cutters did a phenomenal job at making rotations and really catching them off guard. So I think 100% the Pawns really need to be aware of that, get some wards up in the jungle, and just really be ready for them to run it down.
I agree with you there. So just so I'm reading this right, bans are Atlas, Amma, Achilles, and Bassett. Ansel? Okay. Then the RDO ban. So all pretty standard bans. I actually don't know if the Soul's banned or not. Or the Achilles. Okay.
Interesting.
So
I
the
mean,
Persephone did a lot for the Cookie Cutters.
yeah, just running it back, not a bad thing. I think it's safe to say Persephone was very, very helpful to the team in the last game.
So both teams with the high prio on the Ganesha and the Thanatos coming out.
Thanatos. They really bringing out the
They are
Thanos.
moving
Oh my
fast.
goodness.
So just based off of the 3v3, we got Persephone, Iza, Gilga, Ganesha, Thanatos, Baba. Which of those first 3 picks are you liking more?
I gotta go with the Persephone is a Gilg. That's just me. Even if they get a little bit behind, they can still pull off a lot. Whereas with Baba and Thanatos, if they fall behind really hard, you're not really going to be hitting very hard. It just feels terrible trying to play as Thanatos from behind. Really, all you do is just sit around in a team fight, peel for the backline with your silence, and then just ult somebody when they get low.
Yeah. Which, one thing I see Thanatoses don't do if they're behind, use that ulti like a Thor ulti.
It really is. It's such a
Like,
fantastic stun, and I love using it.
play on the fringes of a fight, let it kind of happen, then go up and come into like 3 of them.
Or even if nothing else, just go in, wait for your solo to engage, and just silence out whoever's trying to do something. Just prevent
Yeah.
that dash.
Which we see the Hachiman getting picked up again, which worked out for them because super safe laner. And again, like he's just not gonna lose lane because he can stall it out really well with his wave clear and his poke.
Yeah, and especially having that mounted cavalry, being able to just escape out of all those situations where even when he does get ganked and caught out under his own tower, he can just escape to T2 like it's nobody's business. It really is just
Athena.
extreme
Wisdom
safety on
shall
that
be
god.
my shield.
Okay, I really like the Athena here actually. They are really like going to this super aggressive comp, especially with the Gilga Athena Erlong. They're all going to be looking to fight. Athena's going to be all over the map. I really like that. Those last 2 picks coming out of the ponds.
Oh, absolutely. They are really loading up on the early pressure, and that's where they've been thriving in the past 2 games. That's where they've gotten their biggest advantages.
The
I don't
question
think there's anything.
is, Erlong jungle or Gilga jungle?
I'm gonna go with Erlang Jungle.
That's where I was kind of. I feel like he does better in the jungle than he does in the solo.
I just feel like he transitions into late game a lot better in jungle than he does in solo.
Mhm.
Don't
I
get
think
me
he's a
wrong.
little bit better of a roamer than Gilgamesh too. Not by
Yeah,
much, just a little bit.
yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love playing Erlang, and I'll never complain about him. I just, I don't know. He just feels better in jungle than he does in solo. Maybe that's just me. I just feel like the prots that he gets in late game aren't quite enough to justify being a solo laner.
I want to see a big, beefy warrior coming out of the cookie cutters right here.
I mean, there's still plenty up. Just anything that can really accentuate their early game and just kind of help them transition into that late game where they're going to be able to turn around team fights.
So unconventional, but I actually think Chalk would fit really well into their comp right here.
Yeah, that's a really big AoE silence that they can use, and it can really help them out in team fights,
And
especially
we're
because it's
in the
fantastic CC.
looks like last pick was actually a Suki Omi as we get right into the game. So it's going to be a Suki versus a Gilgamesh, Erlong versus Thana, and then the rest where we thought we were going. They were going.
Minions have spawned.
Suki solo. I do love to see a Suki solo.
I
I've
think
I've always had a lot of fun on it.
he's one of the few gods that can actually handle Gilgamesh's pressure well, even though he's an assassin.
You don't normally think of Suki being that high pressure in solo just because of his early clear, but if he can manage to survive the first few waves without getting poked out too hard, he
Yeah.
can really make a big difference for his team.
And then this duo, they have been shooting fireworks off on these first two waves. So let's see if another happens. It looks like nothing spectacular is going over there except for the frenzy. Mid lane, they are fighting. Erlong getting a little poked out. Nothing too crazy happening there.
Pretty much about what you'd expect to see. Erling's just going to clear wave, then he's just going to try and go farm. He has some really quick clear, especially over in the dual lane as well. They're going to take whatever farm that they can get and just take all the camps that they can. All those harpies belong to them.
Oh,
Early
early
game
gank
out the
coming
solo lane.
down, which is really what they need to do. Oh, he walked right into the Caltrops with the range auto coming out. Gilgamesh is going to fall for Fresh Blood to the Suki, and that is what they needed. Because the Gilgamesh has been a big problem both games, so let's set that guy behind and get our hyper carry of a solo laner up.
That is a beautiful pick. That is going to really apply some early pressure for the cookie cutters, which is exactly what they want. If they can keep ahead in this early game, or even just staying on par, and they don't fall behind, their team fight is going to be set up pretty nicely.
Yes. And they really have a comp of like Suki and Thanatos are going to run rampant in your backline. It's a matter of Ganesha can keep his carries alive
Yeah, they got really
before.
hard on that. Really, really high pressure from a range. They're just going to keep poking you out, strip down your backline, just dive
The
in really
blink
hard.
down, and Erlong is going to fall after blinking into a Dust Scythe from the Thanatos. He is just going to drop. So now Thanatos is 1-0-1. And if you're on the pawns, that's not where you want to see a Thanatos.
Yeah, that's not going to be the ideal for place for them to be. The dual lane is still doing a phenomenal job at keeping the pressure rolling, invading the purple buff.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for the pawns, though, that farm that they're getting isn't quite applying to the rest of the map.
No.
Jungle and Solo have both gotten a kill now, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see how are the cookie cutters going to use this extra pressure that they have on the other side of the map to shut down the ADC. Are they going to make an early rotation, play for an early gold, just TP in, go for a really early gank? Who knows? Maybe they'll pull
There's
something
the
off.
top coming out, just putting some poke down. I definitely think the pawns need to play around this duo side of the map. This player, I can't really read his name. but he has been playing really good all 3 games. So if I was the Erlong, I'd be putting most of my focus there, just trying to get him ahead and kind of play off of the back of him.
That wouldn't be a terrible option. Just taking out the problem players. I mean, that Persephone was just such a problem.
Yeah.
And now that they have it on their side, it's really going to take away some of that pressure from them. Because those planets were just so dangerous in the previous 2 games. They really had to put some respect on it.
Which pretty slow. Kind of like the other 3 games, there's been a few early kills and they just go back to farming and getting whatever they can.
Not a bad thing at all. Just taking whatever farm they can get, deny it from your opponents.
I will say the cookie or the pawns. No, the pawns have been doing a really, really good job of controlling neutral farm. So like those middle harpies, I've seen them get a lot of the oracles. That's how you're gonna get ahead in the game. Yeah, you can steal all the farm in the world, but if you're not controlling that neutral, back when you really can't go and steal farm, that's how you're gonna get those little leads.
Especially the side harpies on mid. That is where I see the vast majority of levels in mid coming from. If you get that advantage, it's always coming from those side harpies.
Well, as Izanami dashes forward with the ultimate, Hachiman's gonna beads, dash, and jump away.
Gonna be some great pressure to force those beads out early. If Erlang can get a great taunt, that 9 turns blessing could really turn it.
Yes.
Could be a very early pickup for him. That'll really help out the Izanami, playing around that early pressure that she already has and just pushing it even further. The pawns can really set up their EDC nicely. I do like seeing the Erlang with Blink as well. That's really going to help out with being able to just get in and engage that really quick.
Yeah. Which Thanatos has already finished his Jodens though, so that's gonna be tough for the pawns to deal with, because that's just gonna do a lot of damage.
Yeah, that cooldown is going to be really nice too. That allows him to really power farm.
I will say I really
Go ahead, sorry.
keep talking because mine was a different point.
I was just gonna go along. Thanatos, if he can get a kill with his ultimate, just getting the cooldown reset, that is just such a short cooldown.
Yes, it is. What I was gonna say was I really like how the cookie cutters do that scorpion pretty early, because those upgraded buffs are so good, and I feel like it's one of the most under prioritized things. And unfortunately for the Erlong, he used his taunt right as Tsukiyomi was ulting, so he wasn't actually able to get that CC. Gilgamesh with a nice kick, Thanatos missing his ultimate. They might be able to pick up the kill here, which Erlong will pick up the kill on the Tsukiyomi. As another fight breaks out in this duo lane, Izanami getting a kill, but she will also fall to the Baba Yaga. And Athena will also pick up a kill. So it's a 3-for-1 overall across the map. Oh, it could be a 3-for-4. They're still looking for the Spaba. The taunt comes out. That's her feed. She has no escape. They are just going to back off.
Maybe just a 1v2, but that Baba can still dish out some damage, so they will have to be careful.
Yes, and they were both low on mana. Oh, as Erlong finds the Thanatos at his speed buff as he secures it. Thanatos very low. Smart move by the Erlong to have that mental control to back off there instead of trying to dive under that T2 in Phoenix.
Yeah, it would be a little bit early to be jumping Phoenix. Got a lot of towers up. It'd be a pretty difficult push if you ask me.
I mean, I would have went for it. I have no self-control though.
Understandable. Pretty based, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I would have done the same. I absolutely would have done the same. If I hit blink up, I'm just going straight in.
My rank partner doesn't let me pick horse anymore because at 2 minutes I got hit level 5 and made us dive a Phoenix. I was like, yeah, come with me, it'll be fine. We dove a Phoenix.
Oh my god. It's like if you're playing like Infinite Assault or something and you get a Nox to trust the Apollo.
Yeah.
Well, it's under fountain.
Oh, as they will dive the T1 and pick up the Hachiman. So that's what I like to see. Get this Iza ahead. She has proven that she's like been doing good all 3 games. So let's just put our faith in her and be like, all right, you're the main focus. You're the core of our team. We're gonna get you ahead. Oh, as the pillars come out, the silence catching the dash as she is able to dash away now. Ganesha dash not quite catching her. Thanatos in the back with the Persephone ult coming up. Iza will fall. Athena also gonna pick up a kill on the Thanatos. Baba Yaga gonna pick up a kill. Persephone answering right back. Athena looking for this Baba Yaga. There's the escape. And that's gonna be the end of the fight.
Beautiful team rotation. It is a 2 for 2, but trading jungler and ADC from the pawns to get the cookie cutters, jungle, and support. Definitely not a terrible trade for the cookie cutters there.
No, it kind of hurts to die on the Thanatos because he was definitely the furthest ahead on your team. So that's a little, or not necessarily the furthest, but like that's a guy you want to keep just snowballing.
Hmm.
So him getting delayed like that's a little hard, and he's already lost 1 speed buff to the Erlong. So they need to start giving him a little bit of love and maybe being on his jungle rotations.
Get him some extra farm there wherever they can.
Yeah.
Thanatos from behind isn't quite as scary.
Which he's 2-1-2, but he also has a level deficit on the Erlong. This Erlong's been doing a really good job of just being all over the map and denying farm.
He's been doing a fantastic job at making those rotations, really just getting active all across the map. I mean, to be fair, that is what you want to do as an Erling, though. Just being everywhere all at once makes it hard for the
Yep.
other team to really compete with you.
Yes, it is.
And especially with how often we've seen him over in the dual lane, just making sure that Izanami is as fed as physically possible.
As we go back to the normal, clear out all our jungle, look for farm, reset.
Pretty much just standard things that you're going to be seeing now. Everybody's just kind of in farming mode. PvE is not unheard of at this point in the game.
Which I will say, I really like how this game has been like a culmination of game 1 and 2. Both teams are coming out swinging, they're fighting, they're taking these fights, they're taking these rotations. Neither one's scared. I love it.
They are here to make the most out of everything that they can. This is game number 3, and they are both here to win it. They're not giving anything.
Oh yeah, and that's what they need to do. I don't know how important this game is, if like this one leads a team to go into playoffs or not, but they're definitely playing like if one loses, they're not going to playoffs. Is Athena's going to try to ult out of here, barely making it, stealing some of the obelisk stacks, which is a good thing. I think that prio on that is not as high as it should be sometimes, especially in that early and mid game. And the pawns
It's
are also going to pick up the pyro.
That is going to be a huge pickup for them. That is a lot of extra farm in their pockets. I think a lot of people sleep on getting those early objectives, at least in the lower divisions. Because that is just
Um,
such a massive amount of farm that you can get.
Yeah, and a lot of time. Oh, what a beautiful taunt by that Athena to get the Thanatos off as the Suki ult comes through. He is looking to finish off this Persephone who has the juke shoes on, but she's going to die to the AoE. Ganesha's super low. Are they going to be able to pick him up? Athena will get the kill. She is going to drop the shield wall and just retreat under tower with the taunt, keeping him there as long as possible. And he's going to. Oh, and Athena will fall to the Hachiman ult. As Baba Yaga is now dropping ult, just those big circles that just do a ton of damage. Gilgamesh might fall. He is barely going to make it out of there. As Erlong is now here, he is looking angry. He's like, y'all were messing with my homies. I'm here now. looking, he is gonna pick up one, and they are just gonna back off and keep farming. Was that a 2 for 2 total?
I believe it was, yes. Definitely not a bad pickup. Being able to get any kills that you can in a return engagement is always helpful.
And I really liked how like they've been trading even in these fights. There hasn't really been a fight yet where one team has come out like ahead.
Yeah, both of these teams are playing absolutely amazing. It was definitely a hard-fought victory in Game 1. Game 2 was really well played. And now that it's Game 3, both of them are putting on their thinking caps and just buckling down and saying, all right, we're here. I'm not willing to give this up.
Yeah,
We're
they
playing until the
graduated.
end.
They graduated from playing checkers. Now they're playing chess.
Absolutely. I mean, if anybody goes to Game 3, you don't want to give it up. You've worked really hard for the victory.
No.
You're not just going to let them take it.
And I want a point you made earlier about how like getting the early objectives. That is something I feel like a lot of teams don't do, especially in the lower divisions, because you like they have a lot on their mind and they're not quite at the point where they can be like, yeah, we could probably get this objective here. But even in upper divisions, like if you watch some of the majors games, there's times where they could just sneak a gold or a pyro real quick and they just walk past it. So it's one of those things where it's like vision is so crucial, and I think that's where lower divisions really struggle is vision control.
Having the wards up too.
Yes.
You can ask any of my teammates. I am constantly yelling at them about wards.
Oh yeah. And like they're even back in the old days of Smite. I'm gonna show how old I am. Bart, if anyone remembers Bart, who's one of the original casters, he used to say
Yes,
wards win wars.
yes, Bart.
Yeah, so wards win wars. Vision control, I think, should be a skill that you work on developing the most if you're looking to get into competitive Smite.
Oh, I miss Bart, man. Bart and Finch. I want to get them back. Oh, that breaks my heart.
I
Persephone
miss
from downtown.
Lionheart. Yep. With the Baba picking up a kill on on the Gilgamesh.
So
They
far, though,
need
it's
to
0-1.
they need to put the leash on him. He's been real aggressive all 3 games, which is good, but if you don't have your team like coordinating with you on that, you're just gonna get picked.
Bento's blinking in, forcing the Beans Aegis, really putting the pressure on the Izanami. Now getting
Oh man.
hold. Home sweet home coming down, crashing on top. Here comes the piercing moonlight, continuing the dive, hitting both of them a couple of times. Really just applying the pressure underneath this tier 1 tower. Baba will end up picking up the double kill as the remainder of the pawns fighting to escape. Thanatos will get blown up on their way out though. Persephone really turning that around. Man, that was a really quick burst.
I was gonna say this is like the first fight we'd have a definite winner, but with their return kill, it's only a 1v2. I don't think they'll be able to pull. Oh, and they're looking for the Gold Fury.
It's definitely a
There's
little
the
bit
pillars coming
optimistic, but
down.
they got the Dharmic Pillars up. They can really put a lot of damage on it. Baba taking some of the damage though. Gonna have to be careful.
That's what I was gonna be worried about. That Baba taking so much poke, and Suki's gonna pick up a kill as well.
Gold Fury did end up falling.
I didn't see which side it went to. I'm a terrible caster.
That's alright. We were focused on the Baba getting solo. That
Yeah.
Winds of Shamash was extremely close to taking him out. So definitely a well-played team fight by the Cookie Cutters. That ended up being
Definitely.
a 1 for 3 at the end of it all.
And it's well played by the pawns by just sticking around to see what the enemy team was gonna do and realize that they could capitalize.
Yeah, just not
Get a
letting
few
them
more
pick that
picks.
objective for free was pretty huge. Almost got the kill for it too. I also, if they had just gone over to Pyro, I think that would have been a perfectly fine call as well.
Yes. That's one of those things of like, do we rotate to the other side of the map and just let them have gold, or do we try to fight them on gold because they're low? And you just saw Baba tank a bunch
Very, very true.
because she took a
I'm
few ticks of the gold fairy debuff.
Yeah, and that really hits hard.
Yeah, and if you have that on you, you're doing less damage. You're taking more damage. Like it's just not good to have on one of your carries.
Especially somebody who's already low without any mana to back them up.
Oh my goodness, this Baba's popping off right now. She is 6-1.
Would have been really unfortunate if she died to the Gold Fury, huh?
Yeah, gold fairy would have been a fed boy.
Gold Fury having pretty decent KDA lately. I'm seeing a lot of people dying to that thing. I don't know about anybody else.
I don't know if it's just like I've been seeing a lot of people that have fire giant.
I feel like in almost every casual I've played lately, I've seen somebody die or almost die to Gold Fury.
Yeah, I played one the other day, and I kid you not, fire giant got a pet to kill. Oh, as they go in, looking very low, the Tsukiyomi ult's gonna come out, but he is 2 HP. Izanami's gonna pick up a kill on him. Baba Yaga dropping the ult, just trying to create space for his team in time. Thanatos coming in the back, the Aegis coming out. He is now on the run. He is also going to fall to this Izanami. As blue side is going to start the Pyro.
Beautiful play from the Pawns, really taking advantage of that team fight. Cookie Cutter stealing away the Pyro though.
Man,
All that
that is
hard work.
unfortunate.
They do manage to get 2 kills out of it, but man, well played from the Cookie Cutters to steal that objective away.
That's just one of those like heart-wrenching moments where you're like, yeah, we just got a good team fight. Let's do this objective. And they steal it. You're just like, ah.
It's such a terrible feeling. Did all that work, won the team fight and everything, and then they just take it away from you.
Ooh, I like this. How they're just going to pressure this T2, but around the corner comes the pillar.
Dumb Pigward's coming out. We see someone coming around the backside here. Baba
Yeah,
dishing
they're
out some
very
numbers.
low.
Really threatening them because they're already kind of low. Tsukiyomi coming in, dealing a lot of damage. There goes the
That
perception to slow them down, but mounted archery really forced them to be careful. Piercing Moonlight coming in.
Suki. Yep.
There's one kill. There's the second from Baba. Tsukiyomi continuing the chase, not willing to let go.
Thanatos
We
is
see
up in the air too.
Yeah, we do see some very, very low health bars on the pawns. They have to get out of that quick. They've lost 2 members now, so they're going to have to escape with all haste. Meanwhile, Cookie Cutters are going to be securing some mid lane towers.
That was a really good job by that Ganesh to do as much poke as he could and delay the damage because he put the pillars up in a way where Iza's autos were just getting blocked when she had the buff popped. So, really, really doing a good job of
Phenomenal
stalling
job.
out there.
Cookie Cutters getting a little bit aggressive trying to take the Phoenix, but they can't do that just yet. The pawns are back up and healthy to fight this time. So they're going to have to back up, take some farm on their way out, and make sure that they get some wards down.
I think this is a good time to talk about like mentality. So, when you're in these have been real competitive games, and now you're in game 3, that gets real taxing really quick on your mind. And it seems like both teams are doing a good job of kind of keeping their mental intact. They haven't made any like super poor decisions, or like usually when people play frustrated, you can kind of tell. So it seems like everyone's been doing a good job of keeping their mental good.
Yeah, they're keeping everything in check, never throwing up that F6. They're just keeping in. They know some fights may not go their way, but that's all right. They'll get the next one, then they'll go ahead and win that game. I mean, Pon's just pulling up that Oni Fury, sneaking it from the Cookie Cutters. That's going to be a huge time for them to go ahead and push for that Fire Giant.
Yes, because you have to go and deal with Oni, or you will lose the Phoenix here.
Yeah, those minions hit really hard. Oni minions, even out pressuring fire minions, it's really just absurd how much they can do. But we're going to opt to pick up the red buff before the minions get there, just using that extra time to get the extra little bit of damage that she can. You're going to see some people backing though. Nobody's willing to pull the Fire Giant just yet, so they do have to be a little bit careful. We'll see how it turns out, though. The cookie cutters are going to go ahead and clear out all of those Oni minions in the mid and solo side. But what are they going to do about over in the duo lane as they're getting ready to defend this fire giant?
Yeah, this is kind of that. Who do we sacrifice to go and deal with that wave over there?
And it's hard when you don't have a really good option because this is
No.
going to be an important fire giant. Pawns are really putting aggression on, and they're just pushing hard.
I would almost just send the Gilga back. Oh, as the pawns are gonna go ahead and pull this fire giant, maybe to force a fight, maybe not fully commit to it, as they're gonna drop it, getting Ganesha very, very low. As they re-pick it up.
Here
Oh,
comes Tsukuyomi,
Tsukuyomi
though,
in the back
nursing
with
Nuna in the
the
back.
ult. He's gonna. Here come the pillars. All the ultimates being dropped as Persephone and Gilgamesh ults come down. Ganesha with some really good dash for some CC. No one has fallen yet. Baba gonna pick up two right as I said that. I spoke too soon.
Oh,
Um,
just too soon. Thanatos picking up the third. We see Tsukuyomi chasing down for the third onto that Gilgamesh. Erling also
Gilgamesh.
going to have to run away.
What a good
Beautiful turnaround
kick.
dropkick. Will it be enough?
Oh,
Ooh, Baba through the wall.
this Baba is having a blast right now. She is having the game of her life. 10-1-5. Really doing the stuffs for his team.
Yep, that mid bird is gone. There's still another 10 seconds until the next person on the pawns is alive. The cookie cutters are going to get aggressive, though. They're going to go right in. They're looking to try and fight here. Erling getting obliterated. That is going to be a very quick death. Support is
this is
up.
game.
Athena's here to try and defend, but will it be enough? The pillars are coming down. Frenzy is popped their DPS Titan. It's already under half HP. Athena's not able to do anything. Gets picked off by the Thanatos, and that is going to be it. Game number 3 going the way of the cookie cutters. An impressive, hard-fought victory. What a game to finish it off on.
Yeah, that was really impressive. I really like how after game one, it seemed like they took a moment and said, okay, what went well for us, what went bad for us, let's do it this way. And they just kind of stuck to that game plan that worked out for them, bringing back the 2 consecutive wins they needed to win the set. Especially that last game, they decided, okay, Iza's been a big problem. If you watched a lot of those fights, they were all over her. She could not operate the way she wanted to.
Absolutely. They figured out what they needed to focus on, and they set their priorities straight. They really made it clear. They were here to play for the game. It was game number 3, and they were pulling out all the stops. Absolutely well played on both ends. Pawns never gave up till the very end. That
No,
was just beautiful.
absolutely not. My MVP of that set is gonna be. Oh, I just looked up his name. The solo laner on the side of the cookie cutters. I just,
Suryanicus.
yeah, he played.
Having some technical difficulties, so
We broke everything.
we'll just BS our way through for a minute.
Okay.
In any case, Suryanicus absolutely was playing beautifully. Every
Yeah.
single game, he was just there for his team. Even if he's not playing for pressure in his own lane, you don't have to lose or win your lane to win the game. And
No,
that's what he
and
did.
just the consistency he showed too. If you can play consistently well across 3 games, he's going to be an absolute asset to them moving forward into like later sets and even to the finals and tournament at the end of the season.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it's all about who took out the Titan. And I think the Cookie Cutters did a phenomenal job at doing just that. Going to a game 3 against the Pawns, who are such a powerful team this entire season. I think it's really well played by them.
Yes, both teams played well. Cookie Cutters winning pretty handedly with that last game. Towards the end, they got one decisive fight and won. I can't wait to see both of these teams moving forward, and it's been a blast casting these games.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you again, everybody, for joining. I was your host, Jaren Lamb. This was Wolfman Sam joining you for a wonderful cast. Thank you to Hercules for running the production for us. I'm so glad everybody could come out. Can't wait to bring you guys some more awesome content soon, especially as we're nearing the end of our season. Playoffs are coming up very, very quickly. Cannot wait. That's going to be a really exciting time. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful night.